Hello, good morning, everybody. What's up? How is life treating you? I hope all is well on this wonderful Wednesday. Welcome back to the channel. As always, I thank you guys wholeheartedly. I'm the sports judge. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I talked about the benching of Bryce Young in a previous video, but I've come back on and I want to talk a little bit about this organization because it's a very dysfunctional franchise run by an owner who has completely dismantled this franchise since he took over. Since David Tepper bought the team in 2018, the Panthers have gone a staggering 31-70 and have not made the playoffs once. And so, I've been wondering. I wholeheartedly believe Tepper had something to do with the benching of Bryce Young. If you think this was a decision by the coach, you really don't know much about Tepper. You really don't know much about this man if you think he had nothing to do with the benching of Bryce Young. This is a man who can't help himself and gets involved. You have a David Tepper problem in Carolina, folks. And now it's more evident now that Young goes to the bench. The owner played a role in the decision to bench Bryce Young. And by that, I mean, this was a last-minute decision. That's what Tepper does. The man changes his mind every so many months as to who he wants to be his quarterback, his coach, or whatever it may be. This time, he decides he's going to change quarterbacks less than 24 hours after head coach Dave Canellis told everyone Young would start next week. So here we are assuming that Young will be the starter next week. Not so fast. Pump the brakes. He's not going to be the starter. Andy Dalton has been named QB1. Here was the quote from Canellis. I have the quote right here in front of me. Bryce is our quarterback. We're going to just continue to shore up and fix things we need to fundamentally, he said. From a scheme standpoint, these are all valuable reps. These are all valuable games. We'll learn a lot from this game and hopefully we'll take another step this week. Canellis told reporters. It sounds as if this was fully Tepper's decision. It sounds to me as if it wasn't fully Canellis' decision, but the owner's choice to step in and bench the quarterback. That's what it sounds like to me. It shouldn't always be automatically going to the next thing. It shouldn't always be that way. This isn't working out, so let's change things up. Like that's going to work every time. That approach or attitude is not going to get you very far in life. We're already benching the quarterback. What's next? Canellis getting fired after one season? You saw what happened to Frank Reich? I mean, if I'm Canellis, I'm really worried about my job security and stability within the organization because really, in all, there is none. There's no stability whatsoever. The notion that this is unfair to me is insane to me. That this benching is unfair. It's not unfair. To say it's unfair, that's insane. Because Bryce is not that good. Does he have weapons around him? No. Does he have great protection? No. They done the same thing year after year after year, expecting it to work. Hire a guy they believe in. He has 1 or 2 years, fails immediately. It doesn't go the way Tepper had imagined. If it doesn't go the way that Tepper had imagined, then he wants to fire the coach. He wants to change the quarterback. He wants to switch things up. If it doesn't go his way, the coach gets fired. has worked out. At the same time, you get tired of hearing excuses for a guy who simply just can't play quarterback. I'm sorry. I'm not letting Bryce get away with this. I'm not. Just as much as everybody else, he has a part in this as well. It's acceptable to ridicule the quarterback. And Bryce Young has come under a lot of criticism. But it's never acceptable to say anything about the owner. I have a hard time with that. David Tepper, he's a terrible owner. And he has failed the personnel on this team 2 years in a row now. You look at what he's done. They gave away the farm to draft Bryce Young. And now you decide now would be a good time to bench the former number 1 overall pick. You know, why hire and then fire a head coach after 1 or 2 seasons? Why draft a quarterback and then decide to move on from him? So in a way, it's not all on Bryce when he's had 2 coordinators and head coaches in 2 years. Okay, that's fair to say. That's a tough transition for anybody. You have to keep learning a new playbook, adjust to a new style and system. That's not all on the quarterback. I get it. Carolina is a terrible franchise. I like Canellis, but I don't think he had much say in this. This organization has, in a way, set Bryce up to fail. They have 52 other guys and a staff that all have jobs to do. So it's not just on one guy. Him not being the best player they thought he would be it is made worse by the fact that no one in this organization will admit that they're responsible for not putting him in a position to succeed. I feel somewhat terrible for Bryce. I really do. Like, to the point where I just want to go into the Panthers facility and look for the owner to tell him what a terrible job he's done in terms of handling the entire situation. This is not all on Bryce. The success that Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold is having this season has exposed the real problem in Carolina. It's the Panthers. Bryce Young could go down as the worst number 1 draft pick ever. And it's unfortunate and very disappointing to even say he's a potential bust. Great kid, humble, very likable, a star at Alabama where he earned the right to be the chosen one. When he was picked number 1 overall, I didn't hear a lot of people saying he was a potential bust. It's been a disaster. If I may, I want to throw some numbers out here for you guys. In the last 10 games, the Carolina Panthers have led for only 10 seconds. They had a lead for 10 seconds. This is an atrocity. I absolutely have no words for this. The humiliation, the losses, the instability at the quarterback position, the firing of head coaches. The ownership is bad. No cohesion, no continuity, or no structure whatsoever. Young has been put in a bad spot. Frank Reich was hired to turn things around. I said, okay, he'll be a good hire for them. I think he would, be the right guy to kind of help groom and shape, Bryce Young into being a better quarterback. Wright's long history of developing quarterbacks suggested he'll play an important role for Young. So he was supposed to be the guy to change the culture and help with the development process. What happens with that? What happens there? He wasn't really given a fair opportunity to turn it around because he got fired after 11 games and was paid to basically go away. So at what point do you, the owner, look at yourself in the mirror and realize you're the problem? You're the problem. The quarterback is too, but you're the guy who picked Bryce over CJ Stroud. This is what we're talking about. And I look at Bryce Young's stats and I go, man, look, it's bad. He's 2-16 in 18 games as a starter. He has completed 59.3% of his passes for 3,122 yards with 11 passing touchdowns and 13 interceptions. He has more interceptions than he does have passing touchdowns. This is what we're talking about. This is maybe the biggest bust in NFL history. These are the kind of things being brought up. Jamarcus Russell wasn't even this bad. It's just very, very bad. He probably needs to go to a new situation to have, the bust label attached to him removed. And I get it. You can make the argument that he's too small. Yes, he's small. He's a tiny dude. And when you're that small, it's hard to succeed on the NFL level. It really is. And when you're not given high-level receivers or great protection or consistency or continuity, you're not given an opportunity to showcase your talent. In fairness, you're not able to be the best player that you can be. Maybe he's going to be a bust, but it's important to hold the right people accountable. This is David Tepper's fault, okay? You think of the decisions David Tepper has made? Steve Wilkes took over that team and was doing a great job, was wonderful, doing a wonderful job, rebuilt the team and won games, then gets fired. Like what? All of a sudden, the man gets fired. You fired him. The same thing with the quarterback. They go and select this quarterback after giving up draft capital to get a quarterback they thought would be this franchise guy. And now, after 19 games, they're ready. They're already moving on from him. There's no sort of consistency and continuity in the organization. They put a guy in a bad situation, and you have an owner who tried to try to fix it by firing and hiring people as if it's going to change anything. It's not going to change anything until David Tepper sells the damn team. I'm just going to tell you right now. It's not going to change. It's not going to change a damn thing. It's unfortunate that Young's name is going to be attached to this. The Carolina Panthers have mishandled the entire quarterback situation from beginning to end. And I clearly know. I know for a fact that Tepper had his fingerprints all over the Bryce Young benching. Anybody who doesn't believe that, you're utterly crazy, or you just don't really know this guy's background and how he does his business. Because I can tell you right now, he had everything to do with Bryce Young getting benched. Thanks for watching, everyone. Really appreciate the love and support. Thanks for checking out my content. Hey, if you like my content, if you like what I'm doing, please do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button. I'm getting out of here now. We'll talk very soon. I'm going on with the rest of my day. Talk to you guys next time. I'll see you guys back here at the same place next time. Take care, everyone.